Welcome to an introduction video of working with WCS, being called Work Coordinate System. I'm going to start off by bringing a file in. File open. We're going to go ahead and look for the type of file, files of type. We're going to use Parasolid for this example. Desktop. And we'll go ahead and look over here, and we have a Parasolid model. I'm going to go ahead and open that up. I'm going to go ahead and shade that and show you how that view's sitting in the top view right now. Show you that the front view and the right view do not orientate to our standard top view. Just bring this back in isometric. I'm going to go ahead and check to see what we have for geometry. So screen statistics shows us lines, arcs, splines, and one solid. I'm going to go ahead and change the color of our solid to our wireframe difference by pre-selecting our solid, right click, setting our color. Now I'm going to have an option to be able to see that the red is our wireframe and green is our solid. I'm going to right click, going into our option. I've added the option for WCS by geometry. This also could be found down here in our WCS button down here on the right hand side. I'm going to go by geometry. I'm going to unshade so we can visually see this. I'm going to go ahead and use lines. The first line I pick always decides what's going to lay in X. The second will decide what lays in Y. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and use this front line here to define my line for X, and this one to define my line for Y. In this case, now you'll see it shows me a select view, 1 of 2. We want the 1 because I do like the way this orientation is the right side of this part will be my positive, the back will be my positive Y, and my Z will be this new top. Now I can save this as a new work coordinate system and a new datum. So I'm going to go ahead and set this for top op 1. I'm going to go ahead and set work offset number for 0. This automatically sets it for G54, and let the option for set new origin correct. And I'm actually going to go ahead and use this button to pick my new origin or my new datum. In this case, the endpoint of this line here shows me the new plane. The associativity to it is marked. I'll take that. I'll go ahead and put this in shade, and we'll go ahead and put this in top and right side to show that it now is set with our new top view being the top of this part, and the orientation is set. I still have not X-formed or rotated this part. I'm going to go ahead and just do a quick toolpath, machine, mill, and I'll go ahead and use my Haas post. In that case, I'm going to unshade this real quickly here, and we'll go ahead and do toolpath, contour, C-plane, and I'll go ahead and pick from here to here, setting my geometry for my toolpath, selecting a tool, filter, good, half-inch tool, that'll work. Use this particular tool right here. Let's say 20 inches, 10 inches plunge, 500, and retract, and profiles, lower plane. See what our clearance, 1 inch, and to the set for 1.5 from the top of stock, already defined by the geometry we've picked this time. And we'll go ahead and use the lead in, lead out. I might set it for 30-degree angle for a sweep in. Cross that, and multiple passes. Let's go ahead and set it for 3. And let's go ahead and say OK. And we can see at this time we actually have toolpath in this plane. This is good. Okay, Alt-T to shut this off. Now what I would like to do is actually use this, do these little slots down here. So I want to orientate this part differently. So to be able to actually set myself a new datum and a new work coordinate system, I want to be able to reorientate this part. So I'm going to use another option for the work coordinate system. Another way of setting planes is I'm going to right click, and I have also the option for rotate WCS. This is going to show us, in this case, you can see my nice icon here with the red, blue, and green showing my positive X, Y, and Z. So I'm going to rotate about the X 90 degrees, putting my Z in this front plane. That looks good. Now I'd like to have this back wall back here rotate it around so the part actually sits like this, and make this my upper left hand corner. So what I'm going to do in that case now is I'm going to go ahead and rotate around Z 180 degrees. So now this will make this back wall my positive Y, this wall my positive X, and this face my positive Z. Go ahead and say OK. Gives me an option for a new view again, and I'm going to go ahead and say let's go ahead and set this for up to front plane. We can force it for a new offset of 55 if we like. And once again, I would like to go ahead, like I say, is I want to make this my new datum, this upper corner. So I'm just going to rotate that part a little bit so I can use my option again here and select that point, endpoint right there. Setting that, sees wireframe option, makes it associated to that geometry. Say OK. So I'll go ahead and shade this, put this in top view, put this in right side. I'm back in isometric. So in this case, now I can go ahead and pick some tools to actually run some paths through here. So we'll go ahead and create ourselves a new selected program group, toolpath group right here, and we'll say up to front paths. That, and we'll go ahead and toolpath and contour, and in this case I'm going to use a single. I'll go ahead and use this face, this edge here, this edge here, this edge here, and that edge there. I'm going to go ahead and select another tool, filter out, and maybe I'll make it a 3/8 at this time. Should fit between there, we're going to find out. And top plane, it sees this 250 depth and multiple places. We'll say 2. Set it all depths, and we could do depth cuts if we want in this case. I'm just going to go ahead and leave it that and set my lead in, lead out for 20 degrees and say OK. So now if I go ahead and I go back to my what we call our view manager, basically showing our WCS and our work coordinate systems. Here's the top being the original datum. This will show you here. I'm going to go ahead and click on it so it highlights it and set my existing WCS, my construction plane, and my tool plane to this top, the existing original top. Go ahead and select there. If I wanted to automatically update the graphics, I can go ahead and hit this button up here, update graphics view when WCS changes, and say OK. You'll see that it actually puts us back what our original plane was when the part came in. Now we can go back into the view manager and look at our top op 1. Set this for equal, so now this is actually our active WCS, construction and tool plane and work offset. This will automatically update the graphics. I have that button set. Puts this in top. As you can see when I orientate, that's our top view. And view manager, go to the option for op 2 front, do the same procedure again, and say OK. And you can see in this case that our part is now orientated in that view. Now set ourselves for several different planes to be new tops with new datums. But you'll notice I'm always coming from the upper left hand corner and able to do this view and pill path this at all times. So now I'm able to go back and back plot all my tools. Backplot that over to the other plane. And that takes care of that. I'm going to go ahead and put this back in the new top view that I'm working with at this particular time. Orientate this part. And now I'll take care of what we have done for our first short video.